So you have to learn about your own ethics, your own kind of stuff to that thing. Uh, okay. Now, second policies. Understand these are the things which going to be an important principles for this NEP. One is you have to respect your local environment. That means from the ecosystem where you have been from. It's not that you have to only talk about, say, in our early education system, we talk too much of about the British history, too much of Mughal history. I hope you guys got it. Now, this education policy where we are going to talk about our history, we are going to talk about our origin, right? We should know where we start. So it is about our things, number one. Number two, equity and inclusion to become the correctness of all educational decisions. You cannot have a differentiation in an education system, like, at one end, this is IS system and this is lower system. Already we have those kind of differentiation in our own system. Let us take in our school education, we have CBSE, ICSE, state board, metric, NOS. Okay, so there are various categories over there that should be included. There should not be any differentiation should be shown in this education system. That's it, number two. Number three, community participation. The idea of education is to include the community, uplift the community around you. When I say community, it can be anything, it should be, you have to give back to your society. It should focus on that one. Early systems, we don't give much importance on this kind of a stuff. We talk only about the professional education. We talk about the career oriented, all kind of stuff. We don't bother about this kind of community, inclusion of the community. It will be the form of philanthropic, private, community participation, etc. Then comes the fourth principle. Obviously, we already been in the track. Thanks to COVID, thanks to Corona. Because if COVID is not there, still coming to this kind of using technology in education, we will be using it in 2025. But today we are just started this process much earlier. Thanks to COVID, we started using our technology. We are sitting at home, moving around, going in our own place, wherever we are. We started using the technology into the classroom. Not only in the classroom, technology, the teaching process. Apart from online, we have other technologies to do. I don't know how many of you heard about this. Apart from, I'm not talking alone about the online education alone. There is a kind of technology, some kind of virtual learning, visual learning, augmented learning, all kind of things are coming up. Now, emphasis on understanding your learning process. What is that? Emphasis understanding. That most of you will understand this. Today, today's system focuses on examination. We are more concerned about examination, the marks, scores, grades, CGP, everything we are focused on that. Whether you understand it or not, that's a big question mark. So here, that's an important thing. Hereafter, this NEP is going to focus on understanding process, so not about simply a rote learning, like going and taking an examination and getting the mark. That's not going to help you at all. Now, unique capabilities, something like recognizing and tapping them in each student. That's really an interesting thing is going to happen, because in every class, the teachers used to categorize the entire class into three categories. One is the front benchers, the toppers. They are the toppers. They are the rank holders, university rank holders, and there will be a bunch of middle row students will be there. They consider to be a kind of an average category. They're all they can pass, and then they can flourish. They give a majority of the results will be there, and there will be a last bencher. I'm just giving a broad view. But this system, the new education system, says every student have some kind of a capability. The institution's role, when I say institutions, including the teacher's role, is to identify the capacity in each and every student. Doesn't matter, it should be an academic performance. It can be anything. It can be even it can be an art, drama, or a kind of an creating something, it can be anything, sports, games, like anything. Identify the capacity of that student and build the capacity. Today, that's going to be a top of the process, what we call it as a capacity building. Today, we conduct a lot of programs on that. Build the capacity. It doesn't matter, you fail in mathematics, no problem at all. If you are good in sports, if you're good in artwork, if you're good in craft, if you're good in, even if you're good in, singing, dancing, doesn't matter. You will be identified, you will be groomed in that particular area. You got it? So that's an unique capabilities should be identified, recognizing, and then you have to nourish on that. Now then comes an important part of your NEP, critical thinking and creativity. What is a critical thinking? Critical thinking, it's not what is already been taught. It's not what the teacher says and you have to just follow. Critical thinking is you have to ask this question on the question. Let me put in this way. Everybody used to answer to the question, right? Every teacher comes to a class, the students will answer, the teacher will ask a question and the students will answer the question. Now, the critical thinking you develops a kind of an ecosystem. You have to question the question. Why? Why? If somebody come out with a question, it's about you to ask the question. You have to question the question. Why? Again, why? So you will get into a process called design thinking. Right? That's how it leads to a critical thinking. When the critical thinking is invoked in an individual, that creates a creativity capability, that boosts the logical decision making, and so on. So that is our seventh principle. The last one is, whatever you do, it has to be reviewed. Everything, that should be a continuous review and sustainable on each, and by it should be reviewed by the experts. It's not that your teacher alone reviews. It's not out, it's reviewed by only by your own institution. It has to be reviewed by the expert team. Today we used to have a review team for every education system. Faculties will understand the review system. We talk about in the NAC, NBA, all kind of review system. Here, every single component, what you focus, all the seven principles, it has to be reviewed. That's your eighth principle. Everything will should have a continuous and sustainable review. So you focus more on research activities with research and regular assessment of these activities through educational experts. So that's what the 8 principles of this NEP. The entire document is been talking about these 8 principles. I'm going to move on to the next slide. I just want a response. Can you able to hear me properly, or let me move on to the...
Yes, sir.
Fine, good. Now, here, as I said before, the 8 principles, what I told you, it is all about NEP. I'm not going to talk more about NEP at all, because that's already there. And it's not going to help you at all by giving more information about the NEP. But what is important is what impact it's going to have in your higher education. You are not going to bother about school education, but let me tell you one thing, NEP talks more. 80% of NEP's documentation is about school education. You people already moved on to that, moved out of that school education. Now you guys are there in a college education, maybe it is in a higher education, put under education. How it going to affect your system? The major reforms of higher education are what is being expected out of it. 50% gross enrollment ratio by 2035. Right now we are in 2020, 21. Next, and after next 15 years, your gross enrollment for higher education should be increased by 50%. What it means? It means to say everybody out of every 100 people complete the school education, 50 people should go for higher education. But today it's not so. Let's take a simple example. Take our own city itself. In our city, altogether, how many colleges we used to have? Whether it is an government self-finance college or men, women college, all kind of stuff. How many colleges we have? We might have 50 colleges. Good. Now, think in the ratio about the number of schools in that city and the college. We have more than 5,000 schools in the city. When I say city, Chennai alone, but various streams, CBSE, ICSE, state board, government schools, 5,000 schools plus we have in the city limit. But what about the college ratio? I'm talking about the metropolitan city. Think in the terms of a rural area or Mafsal area where the ratio is much worse. So here the higher education, the major reform, what they were expecting is 50% should enroll in 2035. So what it tells it, in the next 15 years, think about the number of colleges. In case if it is 5,000 schools, I mean to say, how many number of colleges it has to be, we should have in the city alone. It's going to be not less than 1,000. Right now it is only 50. Think about the number of colleges we are going to see in near future. In the next 15 years, it's going to be have 10 folds, not minimum 10 folds of colleges what we already have. The good news for teachers, we are going to have enormous amount of teaching opportunities. So teaching, jobs are going to come up. But one, next important thing, all the holistic and multidisciplinary education, that is flexibility of subjects is going to be there. Let me tell you girls, you are doing your MCOM in a Madras University system. And let me tell you, in future, in near future, all this system is going to vanish. You are not going to, you people, and that's when I say you, this UG system is not going to be there. You are going to have a UG in a different form. UG program is going to have 3 years as well as 4 years. Same BCom. You people are from BCom. 3 years BCom and 4 years BCom. What kind of difference you are going to have 3 and 4 years? 3-year BCom. Suppose you want to complete your UG and want to go to a job. You finish 3 years and you can go back. You will be provided a degree of BCom. If it is 4 years, you add 1 more year, 3 years plus 1 year of research. Then you get an UG program, 4-year BG program. Your 4-year BG program only will be eligible to do a PG program. You got it? You are not going to, with your 3-year PG, you are not going to join your PG program. You are not eligible. Okay, people, I have my 3-year program. I go for a job. Then I decided to do my PG. What to do? Come back to college, join the UG again, complete that 1-year research program, which is like an honors program, complete it. Then now you are eligible for a PG program. You got it? So PG program is going to be, which is going to have 1 year. Then now comes the third reform in higher education is, it is an integrated 5-year bachelor's or master's. In the sense, a person want to do an MSc, MCOM. After finishing his 12th, the student decided, anyway, I want to do an MCOM or MSc. No problem. You directly join in the integrated program, where it is a 5-year bachelor and master degree program. 5 years continuously you can learn. But let me tell you, in this case, in between you decided, oh my God, it's not my cup of tea. I don't want to continue my education. It's 5 years, it's too much. I don't want to do that. I want to discontinue. You are welcome to do that. Even at first year, if you want to discontinue, you can go. But you will be going with a certificate. 1-year certificate. 2 year, you'll be given a diploma. 3 year, you'll be giving a degree. You will be giving a degree. 4th year, you'll be giving a 4-year degree. And if you complete all the 5 years, you'll be given a 5-year degree. Now, what's the big thing on it? The big deal is after getting a diploma, you just move on, you work, you go to a job, you work, you get some experience, then you decided, okay, I want to do my, I will continue my degree. You are welcome to come back. You can start from where you stopped. You got it? It's such a going to be a flexible form where people anytime they can go out, anytime they can come in. That's what we call it as multiple entry and exit. There's not going to be any stipulated period like compulsory you have to be here for 3 years. No, it's not going to happen. Then there is one more announcement already you just also mentioned, but it is mandatory in this NEP program, MPhil degree, which is going to be discontinued. Now, what is the purpose of the MPhil degree? The UGC started this MPhil degree. It is an first step towards research. So people want to do PhD, they have to do MPhil, then they have to go to PhD. No, now it has completely changed. If you want to do research directly. Why you need to do a intermediate course and waste your time over there? So do a research. There are higher education universities focused on direct research program. Even there is an integrated research program like MSc PhD. After completing a 4-year research degree, a degree UG degree, you can directly go to join a PhD program. That is an integrated PhD program, masters as well as PhD. That is going to be there. So all these things are a breakup in the higher education form. I'm focusing on higher education. I'm not going to touch anything about the school education because that's not your area. Then comes very, very interesting thing for you guys is credit transfer, an academic bank of credits. What do you mean by credit transfer? Listen, yeah, I do a course in a university. Okay, I do a course in university. In one university, I'll move on to some other place. I can use that credit, what I scored there, and you can transfer to this university. This is inter-university. Even in the same university, being a max student, I want to learn about the financial management. No problem. You do a course on financial management. This is very interesting. You do a course on financial management because you love it. But you can transfer the credit to your core course mathematics. You got it? Being a mathematics student, I can do a financial management course. Being a physics student, I can do a programming course. You can include that into your credit transfer system in your mainstream. That's what we call it. It's an academic bank of credits. Whatever you want, you just do your program, courses, and then that will be stored in your academic bank of credits. Any point of time, you can take it, consolidate it, apply it to a certain university, get a degree or a diploma. Nice, right? That means you have a choice of what you want to learn. Today you don't have it. You have to take an object. Say even today university talk about elective courses. Today, elective courses or on optional courses, not your option. The university will give an option. You have to choose among that option. But here, it's your completely, it's your option. You have to select your own thing. You select whatever you want. Not necessarily should from the same stream. That's what we say multi-stream. Multi-stream universities. This particular NEP focus on developing those model multidisciplinary education research universities. Apart from those universities, we are we're giving degrees alone. We are going to build up a lot of multidisciplinary education universities. I'm going to give you some of the examples which has already been done. In India, a lot of experiments have been already done in a private sector, not in a government sectors. In private sector, a lot of experiments are there. A lot of private universities have come and they started, going with this multidisciplinary education research university. I'm going to give some of the examples over here in the next coming slides. So this is what has been going to happen in the higher education. This is what have been expected. Now, I'll move on to the next slide. This is about what? So here, as I told you before, we are going to talk about all the questions. We are going to ask questions and we are going to get answers from this question. First thing is what is NEP, and what kind of stuff is going to happen in the future. Now it's a question for it's a time for why NEP. Okay, yeah, why we need change. We might ask, it's a general thing, what is the need for going for a change. Yes, there is a need for a change, because let me tell you one thing. You are been learning the same kind of process stuff what your father has learned, what their father has learned. For the almost for 2 generations, you people are learning the same stuff in the same way for the for past 20-25 years. There is a need for change. It's an urgent need for change, because we live in a society, we live in an atmosphere where we face a different kind of a problem, a different kind of ecosystem, which was completely different from your grandfather's time, from your father's time. Simple example. Okay, let me go with a couple of slides and then I'll give you that example. Okay, this is an evolution of NEPs. The NEP has started in early 48. Once like India got independence, the Nehru government started this NEP program, and then almost we are there in 60-70 years are gone. It's only 3 times or 4 times it has been completely changed. The other, I don't go with this numbers over here, because it's all slight modification has been done with the early NEP. You know what the major change which has made in the last NEP is, the year is 1986. What you people are learning now, the education policy which was framed in the year 1986. Of course, in 1992, they made some modification in that, but still you have been following the system which was there in 1986, framed in 1986, almost 30 years, 30 plus years, we have been following a system. A lot of things have changed around us, but we'll still be learning. That is a major drawback in a national growth. It reflects in the economic growth of the country also. So that is a need. Let's take an example of your mobile phone. If you buy a mobile phone within 2 years, I'm giving a bigger range. 2 years, you say it is obsolete. But think about the life-changing, it's a gadget. For the gadget itself, you are saying it's an outdated, but for a life-changing process of education, you are so absolute. You are doing and you are learning those things. Not only that, I'm not talking about the syllabus. Let me tell you one thing. I'm talking about the system itself. Syllabus will change. Our university will change the syllabus once in 3 years or 5 years. If you see in detail, if you see, not much will be changed. Only the subject board will be changed. Other 50% of the content will be remain the same. But that's not going to help us at all. Right now, we are in a situation where we are facing the problems which was never ever faced before. And we know how to solve those problems which was already known. But today we are facing a lot of problems, whether it is an economical, human, social, financial, anything. We come across with problems. The problems are so fresh, but we are equipped with the solutions where the problems are already solved. That's what happened, right? So here there is a need. Why? Yes, at least now. Better late than never. There is a need for a change. That's why we are supposed to go to NAP. I'll move on. Now, there's a list of things. It's there given by the NAP. I'm not going to go in detail all those things. I'll just pick one or two because I just want to spend a lot of time on coming slides here. As I told you, holistic multiplayer education, restructuring of your UG and PG degrees, multidisciplinary education, research universities, rationalize and institutional architectures, National Research Foundation. Today, we talk about research. The research in the sense, let me tell you, research today, universities are producing a lot of PhDs. I'm sorry to say, it's all cut and paste work. And the people who produce solutions, their problem is not there or problem is already solved. So here there is a need for real research work where you have to identify the problem which is going to come in future, not the problem which is already there. So that kind of a research where people are thinking about it. And one important thing that we are going to discuss in coming slides is about open and distance learning programs that university has opened up. That's what's an interesting move. I'm going to talk about that one a little bit in a lengthy way. Then your regulatory bodies. Regulatory body, according to our UG program, what is your regulatory body? You have been governed by university, and universities are governed by NACs and NBA for quality improvement. All kind of regulatory bodies are there. Now, all these things are going to revamp, and they are going to put everything under one umbrella. That is a regulatory body. The teacher education is going to go for a major change. I'm not going to talk here about that. Now, what is important for you is technology in education. Your education is going to go with the technology. Don't always think technology is about having a smart classroom. No, it is not about smart classroom alone. Smart classroom is one part of the technology. We have quite a number of technology in educational technologies are there. Today, there is some kind of an augmented reality. What is an augmented reality? Augmented reality is you bring those things into a classroom. You would have seen some kind of WhatsApp sharing where a teacher at Kerala brought an elephant into a classroom, a galaxy system into the classroom. People understand, instead of going for a picture in the geography or history book, they can see it and they can feel an experience. Virtual reality. Put all those things in your virtual reality Google and then try to experience that. So those things of technology. Adult education is going to play an important role where in future, that is they are having a planning of 2030, every person, whether it is an adult or a college goes to youth, everybody should be literate. I'm not talking about they are going to get their degree there. I'm not talking about that kind of literacy. They should able to read and write. But very pathetic situation. Still, there are many clusters are there where people not able to read and write properly. Then comes important thing that also I'm going to spend some time. Promotion of Indian languages. Your medium of instruction is still English. But what is really required is a medium of language should be there in their own mother language, native language. Why? That's very, very important thing, because that level of understanding is going to be different, completely different when it comes to by learning in your native language. Then comes investing. Today we talk about investing in a real estate, investing in a gold, in share market. But in education system, government have a complete plan of investing in for the future education, because they are the future generation people. They are going to build up the nation. With that, I'll move on to the next slide. So here about as I told you about your Indian languages. Promotion of Indian languages, art and culture. I'm not going detail of all the stuff. Let me tell you one single example for Indian language. Today we use your modem of language is English, but you might be belong to a Tamil speaking community or a Telugu speaking community or a Gujarati people will be there. Think when you thought that topic, whatever the subject you've been taught in your own language, the level of understanding will be more. Parallelly, the language will also be developed. that particular language will also will be developed. I don't know how many of you understand what I'm trying to say. This is slowly getting equipped. At Anna University, from this year, they are going to start. They are going to start the courses on the native language. You never ever heard about it. It's going to be like mechanical engineering in Tamil, computer science in Tamil. It's a major change paradigm shift in that. The purpose is people should understand it. I'll just give you a notation of that process. Whatever you learn, say let us take an example. You read or you listen to your lecture. In which language you are going to do that? You are going to listen it in English, obviously. When you come to an exam, you are going to write it in your exam again in English, right? Your reading process is going to be in English, writing process is going to be English. But what about the real process? Your thinking, understanding process. Do you think that that's going to be in English? No. Your reading or listening can be in English. Writing obviously are there in English. But when it comes to your understanding process will happen only in your native language. Whether it's Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen only in your own language. So the system decides to, even the mode of instruction itself can be in your own language. English is a medium of communication. That's all. It's not the subject. So that is why NEP focuses on going into Indian language, promotion of Indian languages by the delivery method. Anna University started this year where they are going to come out with their own language. So I'll move on. I don't know whether I thought of sharing YouTube. Let me click it on. See, so tell me whether you can able to hear the audio.
Okay, sir.
Someone can check it. Can you able to see the browser which is open now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me put it. This is one topic. It's my own video on video channel. It's about microeconomics
Sir,
and
still it's
macroeconomics.
loading.
Still loading.
Yes, sir.
Can you able to? It's open now. Can you able to see it?
No, sir.
Not able to see it. No, still it's opening. Okay. No, it's open now. Are we able to see that visuals?
Sir, we can only see the link which is displayed, sir.
Not able to hear the voice.
No,
Hear
sir,
the voice,
only the
sir.
link is seen, sir.
It's not there, no? Okay, I will do one thing. I will just give that. I'm not able to hear, no?
Sir, we couldn't able to see too. We can just see that link alone.
Okay. So it's not been displayed here. Okay, I will do that. Okay, better I'll just give the link by. Okay, I think it's not visible. No, you can see only the PPT. No, you cannot see the.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what I will do is for your understanding purpose, I'll just give the link over here. At later stage, you can see that. I'll just give you an explanation of what exactly it means there.
Okay, sir.
Now, can you able to see the PPT or even that also closed?
So we can able to see the PPT, sir.
Fine.
Yeah.
PPT is there in the presentation mode?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Fine. Okay, I will share it at the later end. This is a YouTube channel where every subject we moved with a different. We are produced with a different languages. Let's take an example. What I'm trying to show you is a kind of an topic that describes what is the difference between a microeconomics and a macroeconomics. Here, the same content which was been elaborated in Hindi, English, Tamil, Malayalam, etc. So the students, they want to understand in their own language, in the native language. They can open in their own language version, and then they can see. So that's an idea behind the promoting these languages in the native structure. So the idea is to, at the end of the day, the people should understand the concept in their own way. Move on to the next slide. Okay, can you able to see the slide which has changed now?
Yes, sir.
Now here moves on to the next why. What is the reason? One is getting into the language. The second one is quality. Today, quality of research, academic research especially. Let me give you I just already told you that the quality of the academic research is too bad in our country. Every universities are becoming as PhD producing factory. Every department in the university are there have their own targets to produce a number of PhDs. Every semester, if they have a target this year, how many PhDs are going to produce? It's like a sales target. The quality of the content has gone very merely. It has been it was faced for the quality needs. So how to do that? What to do that? So here NEP establishes a separate body, National Research Foundation, and they're going to have a stringent process of getting into research, the core research. Today, of course, we have a lot of metrics, something like, when you want to publish a paper, it should be that type of an impact factor, all kind of stuff. But what happens, to be very frank, today the research has become as a kind of a business model where people are started having their own model for publishing the content in the journal, doing the research, collecting the data. The outsourcing has started getting into this research area. So this they are going to stringently focus on this area. Make sure that you give only the quality researchers. not no, the namesake researchers will be affected. So I'll move on to this. That's what I just, because as of now I'm not going to go detail about the about research for new people, because you need some time to get into the research activities. Now here I'm going to talk about certain things over here. Reimagining vocational education. Apart from your regular academic development, NEP focuses more on vocational education. Vocational education was so popular in 80s and 90s. After that, people started losing their interest in this vocational education. Vocational education in the means that they used to, I don't know how many of you heard about ITIs, industrial training institutes. Government has set up a lot of ITIs across the country. But over the period of time, these ITIs are being closed because of people are not shown interest to joining these ITIs. That is the reason today we're not able to get those skilled technicians when it comes to electricians, plumbers, mechanics, fitters, welders. We don't have a quality people in this area. It's a complete demand. You can get computer programmers. It's very difficult for you to get an AC mechanic. I'm talking about the real good AC mechanic. People or everybody who you started using the screwdriver that became as mechanics at later stage. So now the vocational education is coming up. They are going to focus on vocational education. Now you might ask how it's going to help this normal education stream. You know what? They are going to merge these two things: vocational education with an academic. People who do regular courses can take up the vocational education as a stream. As I told you before, you can transfer the credit back to your mainstream. Doing an occasional course, get the credit and transfer to your mainstream, you can become a skilled technician addition to your degree, core degree. Now the question is, we saw about what, why. Now the question is about how. How is going to be implemented? Quickly, I just go through this how process. The policy is released. First, let me tell you how they designed this. How do they design the entire 220 draft? It's not that people sitting at their own offices and then they think about it, coming out with a research article. No, all these things are framed based upon the following things: field experiences, factual research, feedback from those stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders of these graduates, these employees, these people who are coming out of the universities? The companies, no, they get the information from the companies. What kind of employee you really required? Get those feedback from those stakeholders. Lesson learned from best practices. There are a lot of model universities that they do a lot of experiments. Get those feedbacks from those best practices, put together, then your draft has been drafted. The draft has a big history. It's not that being done within a year. They have been drafting it for 6 years. Now, 2019, they given the draft for the discussion, debated, made a lot of changes, and now it has started getting implemented. Now comes how it's going to be implemented. Man, this is it's going to be the structure. You know what? The entire school system, they are starting from the foundation. The entire school system starts from preschool plus grades 1 to 2. So 5 years, then 3 years, then 3 years, and then 2 years. Got it? Sorry, it's about 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. At secondary level, it's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12 standards going to be considered as a secondary education. And middle 6, 7, 8. That's already there in the middle. Pre-preparatory level, it's 3, 4, 5, and the foundation is 1 and 2. Let's compare with the old system now. The existing academic structure is about 2 years, 10 years back. 10 years of education, which starts from your age 6 to 16. That is 6 to 16, where you will be gone to your first standard to your 10th standard. Then you do your 11th and 12th. That's 2 years. Now the new system, they have 3 slabs here. Foundation stage 5. It's a multi-level. It should be a play and activity based. No books, no nothing. It's completely a kind of a kindergarten stuff. They are going to do for the first 5 years. They are going to do that one. Then the second level, again, it's going to have a kind of preparatory stage, your discovery method, all kind of some. In the middle, at the school level, they are going to focus more on mathematics, art, social, and humanities, which is already there, but the methodology is going to differ. I'm going to talk about that also. Then comes your second stage, where till 9th to 12th standard. As of now, it is only 11th and 12th. Today, they are going to have 4 years of secondary education. And that too of a multidisciplinary, not like what we have been doing right now. Even at the secondary stage, they are going to incorporate the vocational education. Initially, we used to have, today, almost every school focus only whether it is a science stream or the commerce stream. If you go back in 90s and 80s, in school level, they used to have vocational education. They used to have general stream. A lot of vocational education was being given over there. General mechanics is one of the courses. The people used to go for physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and there is one set of people take general mechanics. People who do the general mechanics will be entering into the polytechnics at the later stage. All those things are gone because the trend has moved towards only an education and medical education in the past. That starts the disaster. Now, next move on to the next slide. Here, there are different streams where they existing and academic. I'm just going to quickly go into that one. 10 plus 2 plus 3. You know what it is? 10 plus 2 plus 3. It's your education structure. Today it is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Your board exams based on the memorizing facts. What do you mean by that? I hope there are people who are born and brought up with the corner guides. Even at a college level, I used to see people run towards the Moon Market and the bookstores, and then they get this question banks, because they always know we have a formula, 5 years question. You take this past 5 year question, definitely you can pass the exam. But they are moving into the next level. Let me tell you one thing. I don't know how many of you heard about the word plagiarism. Maybe the faculties will know, because when they go for research, they have been focusing on the plagiarism checking. Make sure that the content which is not already published, right? Now, the system says, the new education policy system says the plagiarism should be for the questions itself. In future, when the complete plan has been rolled out, you can't ask the same question next time. Every time you have to reframe the question, and they're given the guidelines also how to design, how to develop, how to create questions. You should not ask why, what, when, all kind of memory retention questions should not be there. Only analytical kind of a question should be. Creativity, invoking creativity questions, invoking discovery-based questions should be asked. Then let's come to this award of the degree. Award of the degree, completion of 3 or 4 years, the degree will be provided to the students. If it is arts stream, arts and science stream, 3 years. Your BSc, BCA, BBA, or BCom stuff. If it is an engineering, it was 4 years. That's what the early stage says. But in the new system, it's going to be a multiple exit option. So even at 1 year, you can come out of your college with a certificate. 2 years, You can come out of your institution with a diploma, 3 years with a degree, 4 years with a degree with a research certificate, 5 years with a master's. Then, as I told you before, vocational education, it was there early in early, slowly it has disappeared. Now they are going to bring the vocational education system right from class 6, not at the higher education. Right from the class 6, they are going to develop this vocational education. And marking scoring, no marking system has been done so far. It's going to be like a 360-degree performance evaluation. Not only about at the end of the term, you write your exam and get your marks. No, every single day, what you do, that will be assessed, that will be taken care and then graded. Initially, you used to have multiple entrance tests. Like, let me tell you one thing. Suppose you go for an engineering, you go for JE. If same thing you want to go for an university, you go for a different entrance test. But it's going to be a common entrance test. With that score, you can apply for it. So that's going to be how it is going to be structured in this new system. We talked about multiple entry and multiple exit a lot. So I just move on to the, come out of the slide. And now let's go into the next topic of who and whom. I will have a small interruption here. How much time we have left, madam? I think I crossed the time also. Madam, how much time I can take so that I can plan accordingly?
Sir, a maximum of 10 to 15 minutes, sir. It's already 4:20.
Yeah, I know. So I just may take the next 5 minutes. I will try to wind up and then we'll go for questions.
Sure.
Now,
sir.
whom it's going to apply? Student activity and participation, whoever it may be. The plenty of opportunities will be given for these students with with a kind of having different capacities. It can be sports, culture, arts, ecosystem, etc. Every education institution should going to have a separate counseling system for handling the stress and emotional adjustment. That's going to be a biggest task for the next generation institutions. Increasing hostel facilities, because there's going to be a lot of residential institutions, excellent institution for excellent residential institutions going to come up. And internal medical facility, they are going to have focus more on the health issues, addressing those health issues for the students. Optimal learning environment and the support for the student. It's going to be a high level. Your libraries not going to be a libraries of today. It's going to be like a library of. It's going to become as a resource centers, not only books. You're going to get a lot of information from the library. Technology-enabled library is going to be there. And of course, they are going to move on to the ODL. ODL, next slide, I'll show you some of the information about the ODL online. Now, let's take an example of ODL. ODL is today, the system has permitted you to go for ODL. What is the ODL? Open and distance learning. People used to remember those correspondent courses, distance education courses. Madras University given a lot of degrees through distance education, even MBA, MCA, BBA, BCom, all those stuff. And they have always they have a secondary, secondary treatment when it comes to job industry. Now here the new system says ODL is equivalently treated as a regular degrees. It's not the traditional ODL distance education system. It is about open learning in the sense flexible, learn anywhere, anytime. It's not that one particular Saturday or Sunday go to the the university, study center, go there, learn. No, it's going to be a digital learning. Anywhere, anytime you can learn it. Credit transfer will be happen. So people prefer to go to job and then we'll be doing ODL. And more interestingly, people who already do the or regular course will also enroll for an ODL course and then do it parallelly, because that has been allowed today. First, people who do a regular course can also do a second degree. Dual degrees are being allowed now. Initially, it was not allowed. Say, for example, a person wants to doing an engineering, they want to do an economics degree, MA, enroll for an ODL course and then you can do MA economics. Let's take an example. A typical example starts from the big blue. IIT Madras has started this program. Very first person to initiate this ODL method as per the NEP norms. Today, IIT, getting into IIT was a dream. That IIT itself came out of the ODL method where BSc degree in data science, a degree in programming and data science has been started. Successfully, they are moving into second year. You know what? I'll give you a statistic about that particular degree. The first year, 80% of students are not fresh students, after schooling is completed. Let me tell you one more interesting statistic. There was a student around 56 years, one person is taking up that course. 56. And there are a lot of engineering students who are doing engineering in the private universities. They enroll for this course parallelly. Many students, many students from industry, many professionals from industry are enrolled for this course. They are already equipped, they are already professional, but still they enroll for this course, for the BSc degree. It's going to be flexible. We'll move on to the next one. I'll give you another example. It's not only IIT. A lot of other people started their own ODL programs. And now it became started one particular platform they started giving. Oh, I'll show you one platform here. Great Learnings. Maybe you would have seen a lot of advertisement in the television. A lot of foreign universities had come out to this particular platform to give their courses. You can go and enroll. Not only that, I'm not going to promote all these things, but still you have some other thing called Coursera. A lot of universities are tie up. They put their courses on the Coursera. People can go there, enroll the courses and complete them. I'll move on to the couple of slides quickly and then finish it up. Here, the deserving students, they are going to get their scholarships. A lot of financial support is going to be given because everything will be monitored directly with the dashboard. They're going to have a dashboard of system. Anybody can go there and enter. Just like that, you have that Arogya's app. Similarly, NEP has come out with a dashboard where for higher education, for every SC, ST, OBC, and other qualified people can go there and enter the detail. Their financial supports will be taken care and monitored. There need not be any intermediary should be there. And where it is being implemented. As I told you, implementation should be done. It is going to be done in your board exam, your curriculum, lessons, regulation, and primary education, multilingual, that is different languages, assessment reforms, and online education. In a higher education platform, every cluster, it's going to be implemented. Okay, all the things I just a lot of time. I'll move on to the important things. I just want to show you some examples where it has been already implemented. The important part here is the key shift is that students will have increased flexibility and choice of subject. The policy states that there will be no rigid separation between arts and science. Hereafter, that's nothing called arts and science. People used to say, we are come from arts background, like BCom, BA, etc. People used to say we are from BSc mathematics, chemistry, physics. Hereafter, there is nothing called arts and science. Both they're going to merge both. I'm going to show you some of the example universities which already started this amalgamation. There's going to be not any difference between a curricular and extracurricular activities. You know what? Curricular, always that you go with an academic oriented. Extracurricular, it goes with the other research and activities, go for some kind of a symposium, all kind of stuff. Both not going to be separate. It's going to be included together. And vocational academic streams are going to amalgamate it. So as of now, we people focus only on certain specialty teams in a new system. All those things going to be clubbed together. I'm going to see you some of the interesting examples. You never ever thought of these kind of degrees in your lifetime. Let's take an example over here. How many of you seen this example here? Shiv Nadar universities, I just picked some examples from the Shiv Nadar University to make you to understand, okay, this is how people are going to give. They already started with this course, BCom and BCom honors. What is the difference? 3 years, 4 years. So people with the honors directly get into the research. Here is one more example over here. Nobody would have thought of doing a BSc research. People will always think in the terms of chemistry, BSc chemistry. Today, BSc research in chemistry. Every BScs have been converted into research degrees. Not a normal degree where you get a BSc degree and go. It's a research. People can do your research, continue the research once you get the degrees. So there are a couple of universities started implementing that. It's not going to be in near future. It's already started. Then I'm going to give you another case here. BSc research in mathematics, economics, BSc in economics. That's a wonderful induction program. People with the technology, tech, finance, a multidisciplinary university. Here comes another option, as already have been discussed in NEP, which has started implemented in some private universities. Actually, it's not a private university. They started as a state university. Integrated MSc and PhD programs. You already have a degree. You thought of doing a PhD in future. No need of waiting for the future. No need of doing an MPhil and all. Directly enroll for the integrated MSc PhD program. You MSc 1 year, PhD remaining 3 years. Suppose you don't want to continue, you break and come with your MSc. At later stage, again you can continue your program. Wonderful. Now, all those things, it is going to come under Great Learning Platform. That means ODL. Not necessarily you have to go to the place. There are degrees, certain degrees they're given on ODL platform where people can do it online. No need of moving out of it. Okay, now here there are some more degrees like that. Now what I'm going to do show you here is when it's going to be implemented. All those things are good, but when? There is a timeline given by the implementation of NEP 2020. It's not going to be implemented overnight or for the next year. You know when the complete program is going to be implemented, it's going to take nearly next 20 years. That is 240. The entire problem will be rolled out. So next 20 years, phase by phase, they are going to implement. Okay, people, I'll stop here with a couple of testing. Now, this is important. See, where are you in this system? You people are doing your degree. Where are you in the system? In what way this is going to help you or this is going to impact you? And let me tell you, you people are there in the middle of transformation. No way your school revamp program of NEP is going to help you. Or even in higher education system, you are already completed your degree or in your college, that you don't have any choice or chance to get into the NEP, because when it comes to higher education, it takes 2025 to get into this higher education reformation. For the next 5 years, you have to still stick into the old system. Having said about all this NEP, where you are in between the transformation, so how it's going to help you? Let me tell you one thing. What way this NEP 20 is going to affect you people, because you are there in your UG degree. No way you can take this NEP. One thing for sure. No way you can get into a higher education system in this NEP format. No. If that's the case, what impact I'm going to have? I'll tell you one thing. You are going to have a very tough competition is following you. உங்களுக்கு பின்னால வர அந்த பேட்சஸ் NEP-ல வர போற பேட்ச் கூட தான் நீங்க ப்ரொஃபஷனலா நெக்ஸ்ட் 20-30 இயர்ஸ்க்கு டிராவல் பண்ண போறீங்க. Hope people got it. They are being trained in a different environment. உங்களுக்கு பின்னால ஒரு 4-5 இயர்ஸ்க்கு வரப்போற ஒரு குரூப் வந்து வேற ஒரு என்விரான்மெண்ட்ல அவங்கள ட்ரெயின் பண்ணி வர்றாங்க. நீங்க வேற ஒரு என்விரான்மெண்ட்ல ட்ரெயின் ஆகி போறீங்க. 2 பேருமே ஒரு கட்டத்துல ப்ரொஃபஷனல் பிளேஸ்ல மீட் பண்ண வேண்டிய ஸ்டேஜ் வரும். அங்க you will be definitely surpassed from this, but this group of people, they're going to come because they are completely equipped. They talk about critical thinking, decision making, all kind of stuff, but we come with a different category of rote learning, examination, first rank mark, ella okay, but when it comes to the problem solving, we stop. So here it's a really and critical situation for you for the next 5 years, 6 yearsல உங்களை நீங்க எக்யூப் பண்ணிக்க வேண்டிய கட்டாயத்துல இருக்கீங்க. அதர்வைஸ் லைஃப் ஃபுல்லா உங்களுக்கு பின்னால வரவங்க கீழே நீங்க வேலை செய்ய வேண்டியது கட்டாயம் வந்துடும். அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம்? சிம்பிள். You have to develop yourself in a kind of a skill set what you love. Let me end up this thing by saying that இந்த 5 வருஷம் இந்த நெக்ஸ்ட் 5 இயர்ஸ்க்கு நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும்னா உங்களுக்கு என்ன பிடிச்சதோ உங்களுக்கு என்ன வருமோ அதுல எக்ஸ்பர்ட் ஆகுங்க. கஷ்டப்பட்டு படிக்கிறது முக்கியம் இல்லை. என்ன படிச்சாலும் அதை இஷ்டப்பட்டு படிக்கணும். எக்ஸாமுக்காகவோ மார்க்குக்காகவோ உங்களை தயார் பண்ணிக்காம உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்ச ஒரு விஷயத்தையே உங்களோட ப்ரொஃபஷனா மாத்தீங்க. You become expert in that. When these people, these NEP people, when they come trained and come, and when you guys meet at one particular junction, you can survey for the next உங்களுடைய next of life, you can have a beautiful survival process. Otherwise அந்த ஜெனரேஷன், பிகாஸ் அவங்களுக்கு உங்களுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய கேப் கிடையாது. Maybe next 5 yearsல they are going to come to your professional space and you are going to compete with those people. They are going to come out with a lot of ஒரு enriched and ஒரு critical thinking, problem solving skill ஓட வந்து பயங்கர ஒரு full form வந்து நிக்க போறாங்க. That is important for you. NEP உங்களுக்கு எந்த விதத்திலையும் உங்களுடைய சிஸ்டமை அதை டச் பண்ணதுக்கு வாய்ப்பே கிடையாது. Because it is going in a different track and you people are there in a different track. பட் அந்த ட்ராக்ல வரவங்க கூட தான் நீங்க மிச்சம் லைஃப் டிராவல் பண்ண வேண்டியது இருக்கும். ஸோ மேக் ஷுர் தட் யூ equip yourself. With that, I'll just move on to my last slide. Maybe I have a lot of slides to share because it's not a 1 hour program for me. So what I'll do is there are a lot of benefits. Of course, if possible, I'll just share the slides at later stage. I'll stop here. Most important part is your questions. Any specific question you ask for yourself. Even at the faculty, we have a separate module for the faculties because they are going to face a different issues with this NEP. Of course, they cannot get into this NEP system, but for them, again, it's a survival process. In the 80s kids, 90s kids, சொல்ற மாதிரி இந்த 2000 kids in the NEP, it's going to give a big challenge for their career and survival because the next generation is going to come completely equipped. Industries will prefer those people, not you. So it's the high time for you to identify your capacity and build your capacity and be ready to face those challenges. With that, I stop. I think I'm taking extra time. Madam, I'll move on. I'll give it to you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Very energetic and very informative session. Participants, if you have any questions, you can raise your question.
Madam, little bit louder. எனக்கு சரியா கேட்கலையா இல்ல எனக்கு மைக் ப்ராப்ளம்.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, please.
Yes, participants, if you have any questions, you can ask now. Either you can post it in chat box or you can unmute yourself and talk.
Yeah, any specific questions, Ma? If you want, you can ask me for the next 5-10 minutes. I can love to spend over here because This one is completely a kind of a policy which is not going to directly affect you, but it's going to have a very important impact in your career.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
there are some questions which have been coming.
Yeah. Can you read out those questions, because
Yes.
I couldn't able to see.
Will NEP be effective in India?
Hmm.
And then
Yes, ma. It is completely. It is meant only for the Indian education system. India kaga da adu. It's NEP 2020 is an Indian policy. It is only for our Indian students and education system. It's nothing to do with the foreign. But one thing I just want to say, it's open now, because next in the it is open now. Future led lot of foreign universities going to come and start their own institutions here. Either they are going to have a tie-up, or they're going to have their own colleges here, like already MIT, Harvard, and other institutions, Australian and Canadian universities have started their institutions, campuses over here. A very future, there's going to be a lot of foreign collaborations and institutions. They're going to have their campuses here. But definitely, there's going to have a lot of impact, as I said.
next is why removal of MPhil?
MPhil is a kind of it's a program which is the Kalavadiyana program. How to say expire ஏற்கனவே expire date முடிஞ்சிச்சு. அது ஏற்கனவே 10 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாலே expire date முடிஞ்சிச்சு. அது தெரியாம நிறைய பேர் ஜாயின் பண்ணி இருக்காங்க. ஏன்னா MPhil they are not going to consider for a appointment. They are very clear that they are not confirmed for employment. MPhil முடிச்சா ஒரு டைம்ல PhD admission கொடுத்தாங்க. இப்போ அதுவும் கிடையாது. For that people have to clear netன்ற மாதிரி கொண்டு வந்துட்டாங்க for JRF for kind of stuff. So no way it's going to helpful. என்ன பேருக்கு பின்னால போட்டுக்கணும்ன்ற ஒரு மயக்கத்துல தான் ஒரு கடந்த ஒரு 15 வருஷமாவே அதை பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. That particular degree has been expired. ஏற்கனவே அது expire ஆயின டிகிரி அது.
Next is what will be the adoption level by Indian universities on this new educational policy?
It's a do or die. It's a question of survival. If you adapt, you can survive. Otherwise, you have to close down. You have no other choice. And adaptation should also be, in a kind of close monitoring. Next to 5 years, I just already shown you example of Shivnadar University. They started the university completely on that particular structure. It's not adapt. They created their university on that structure. So for other university, it's going to be a big challenge, and a threat. These kind of universities are coming. It's a kind of survival process. If they want to survive, they have to adapt. That's my next question.
Changes in the educational policy due to COVID-19.
Education policy change எல்லாம் கிடையாது. COVID-19ல வந்து it is inevitable. தவிர்க்க முடியாதது. சேஞ்சே கிடையாது. வேற வழியே கிடையாது. So today, say for example, let me tell you one thing. In the NEP policy enroll ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்னாலேயே people in 2018 and 19 there will be too much of talk. People talk about 5th standard ஒரு entrance exam வைக்கணும்னாங்க. public exam வைக்கணும்னாங்க. 8th standard ஒரு public exam வைக்கணும்னாங்க. 11th standard already ஒரு public exam, 10th public exam, 12th public exam. The school lifeல 4 levelல they used to have this public exam. கொஞ்சம் நஞ்சமா பேசுனாங்க. இன்னைக்கு வைக்க வேண்டிய public examே க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டு போக வச்சிருச்சு. It's something like man proposes, God disposes. பேசுனவங்க எல்லாம் இன்னைக்கு வேற வழியே இல்லை. எல்லாத்தையும் மூடிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க. So it is an inevitable situation and you have to undergo this. You have no other choice. It's not your choice. You have to follow the system. Next one.
Yes, sir. That's it, sir.
Sir, I have a question,
any other
sir.
questions? Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, in what way we can train our students to compete with the future generation when they study under NEP?
I don't know whether you take it in a right sense or not. I'll tell you, இப்போ ஸ்டூடெண்ட் ட்ரெயின் பண்ற சிச்சுவேஷன்ல நம்ம இல்ல. டீச்சர்ஸ் முதல்ல ட்ரெயின் ஆகணும், அடாப்ட் ஆகணும். அவங்களுக்கு இந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் அடாப்ட் ஆன பிறகுதான் இந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை ட்ரெயின் பண்றதுக்கு வரும். ஏன்னா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் பாஸ் அவுட் போயிட போறான். இப்ப கரண்ட் பேட்ச் நீங்க ஹேண்டில் பண்ற ஒரு 3-4 வருஷம் பசங்க வெளியே போயிட போறாங்க. அடுத்த ஒரு 5-6 வருஷம் கழிச்சு நீங்க வரப்போற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ட்ரெயின் பண்றதுக்கு நம்மளே எக்யூப்பா கிடையாது. As I told you before, as what a system says is you are not supposed to ask a question which is already asked. ஒன்னு. ரெண்டாவது இந்த வாட் வேர் வென் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கக்கூடாது. ஐ டோன்ட் நோ வெதர் பீப்புள் நோ அபவுட் திஸ் BTL மெத்தட், Bloom's taxonomy. Only analytical kind of a question should be answered. பையன் கிரியேட்டிவா திங்க் பண்ணணும், do lot of analysis, come out with your own discovery methodல தான் வரணுமே தவிர ஏற்கனவே இருக்கிற மெத்தட் அது மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருக்கக்கூடாது. இட்ஸ் an information which is already there. அப்படின்றதுல faculties have to be trained. Now coming back to the students பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இன்னைக்கு அவங்களுக்கு இன்னைக்கு NEP-க்கு ட்ரெயின் ஆகுறது அடுத்தது. இருக்கிற சிஸ்டம்லயே இன்னைக்கு அவங்க அவுட் ஆஃப் சிஸ்டம்ல போயின்னு இருக்காங்க. வெரி அன்பார்ச்சுனேட் தட் இந்த கரண்ட் 3 years, அதாவது இன்னைக்கு இந்த வருஷம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் படிக்கிற பசங்க, செகண்ட் இயர் படிக்கிற பசங்க, தேர்ட் இயர் படிக்கிற பசங்க, லாஸ்ட் இயர் செகண்ட் இயர் படிச்ச பசங்க, இல்ல இந்த வருஷம் செகண்ட் இயர் படிச்சவங்க தேர்ட் இயர், இந்த 2020 22 21 22 இந்த 3 வருஷத்துல கிராஸ் பண்ற ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸும் industry is going to give them a chapa. They are COVID batches. அவங்களுக்கு they are not even up to the par of the normal regular stream. NEP விட்டுடுவோம். நம்மளுக்கு முன்னால இருக்கிற சேலஞ்ச் இருக்கிற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை பழையபடி ட்ரெயின் பண்றதுக்கு இப்போ வழி காணும். அவங்க என்ன பண்ண போறோம்? One, after COVID, everything is over, you go into a normal. That normal is going to be a new normal. Let me tell you, you are not going to face the system as you faced 2 years back. New normal வரும்போதோ இதே மாதிரி நீங்க கிளாஸ் எடுக்க போறது கிடையாது, இதே மாதிரி கிளாஸ் நடக்க போறது கிடையாது. Reason is the university already getting into those kind of experiments. We are going to go for blended learning as well as flipped classrooms. This random is going to dominate. What do you mean by blended learning? I'll tell you. 50% will be there in the classroom session and 50% you already been trained in your online platform. That's going to continue. Flipped classroom. The other side round. Students are going to come to the stage and you are going to go and observe what they do. That's going to happen. மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் வரப்போகுது. அதுக்கு நம்ம முதல்ல தயாரிக்கணும். பசங்களுக்கு வந்து இட்ஸ் a short. People who are going to take up this teaching profession, they have a different challenges. People who are going to go for an industry, இப்போதைக்கு அவங்க இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எப்படி அவங்க ட்ரீட் பண்ண போறாங்கன்னு தெரியல. ஆனா ஃபியூச்சர்ல அவங்க உள்ள போன பிறகு கூட ஃபியூச்சர்ல அவங்களுக்கு பின்னால வர பேட்சஸ் இஸ் கோயிங் டு ஹேவ் a full equipped வர போறாங்க. Provided these NEPs are properly implemented. அப்படின்னு இருக்கும் போது அவங்களுக்கு இருக்கிற சேலஞ்ச் சர்வைவல் ப்ராசஸ். இவங்க கூட போட்டி போடணும்னா அவங்களை டெவலப் பண்ணிக்கணும். அவங்களை டெவலப் பண்ணணுன்றது என்ன பண்ணணும்னா அந்த காம்பிடென்சிஸ். ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு திறமை இருக்கும். நம்மளுக்கு பிடிக்காத விஷயம், வராத விஷயம் விட்டுருவோம். ஆனா வர விஷயத்த இன்னும் you be an expert on that. What we call it as a capacity building. You build the capacity on that. Don't always think about English, engineering stream and medical stream. That's not going to be there and help you at all. There are other streams are there. Arts, fine arts, lot of things going to come. Media is going to play an important role. You are going to go into the kind of a system called bioinformatics. இது மாதிரி விஷயங்கள், pharmaceutical industry, lot of things is going to come. அது எதுல உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஈடுபாடு இருக்கோ அதுல ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணுங்க. ரிசல்ட் இமீடியட்டா வராது. ஓவர் த பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம் யூ பிகேம் an expert and then you are going to set up the rules for that particular area. Madam, anything else? I hope I answered your question. But எக்ஸாக்டா நீங்க இப்போ இதுதான் மெத்தட் என் பசங்களை ட்ரெயின் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா இப்போதைக்கு அது வந்து இட்ஸ் யூ டோன்ட் ஹேவ் எனி அதர் சாய்ஸ்.
Thank you, sir. Participants, you have any questions to be asked?
Yeah, I saw one hand was raising. Yeah, any specific questions? I saw a lot of commerce students were there. Nameless for you, I just give you one simple suggestion. There are a lot of options for accounting domain. உங்களுக்கு இந்த பிகாம் எடுத்தது எம்காம் போனோம்னு அவசியமே கிடையாது. You have a lot of options already available in our own education system. They already follow this NEP kind of thing. Like, it can be a, a chartered accountant, it can be a management accountant, it can be any kind of, professional bodies are there. You equip yourself. And one more thing, let me tell you one thing. Don't always think in one particular domain. You have a big option for civil services. அது யாருமே பெருசா எடுக்கிறது இல்லை. அதனாலதான் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்மளுடைய அந்த இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் முக்கியமான இந்த டெசிஷன் மேக்கிங் ஸ்டஃப் எல்லாமே மூவ்ஸ் டுவர்ட்ஸ் ப்ரொஃபஷனல் எஜுகேஷன். அதனால இன்னைக்கு அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் லெவல்ல எஸ்பெஷலி சிவில் சர்வீசஸ்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா பீப்புள் டோன்ட் ஆப்ட் ஃபார் இட். யூ ஹேவ் லாட் ஆஃப் ஆப்ஷன்ஸ். டேக் அப் தோஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் கோர்சஸ் that already follow NEP formats. That's going to help you a lot. Let me tell you. Yeah, any other questions? Because next 5 minutes I can stay here. Please ask any questions if you have. I'll love to answer this.
Participants, any questions? Yes. Yes, Kritika.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can proceed, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. That was really an informative and interesting session. I'm sure that all the participants have gathered more information. If there's beginning, there will also be an end. Now I call Ms. Harika to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kritika. Warm evening to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure in delivering the vote of thanks in this occasion. Foremost, I thank God for making this event successful. I especially thank our resource person, Dr. C.V. Suresh Babu sir, for accepting our invitation and spending this valuable time. Thank you, sir. I thank AJ Unlimited for providing Zoom platform. I would thank our management correspondent, Sri Guhilam Ramesh sir, Principal Dr. T. Mohanasri ma'am, Vice Principal Dr. T.B. Vanita ma'am, Vice Principal Academies, M.V. Napinai ma'am for their continuous support in all our initiatives. I extend my thanks to Faculty Coordinator Dr. G. Manita ma'am and Nitisha ma'am for encouraging, as no program can complete with a single person. So I extend my big thanks to all the participants for their active participation. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity. It's a long term. I've been there in this kind of a platform. Actually, I don't believe in this online platform, but still, I have to change myself. நான் என்னைக்காவது ஒரு நாள் எல்லாம் நல்லா போவோம். நான் இப்போ எல்லாரும் நேர்ல பார்ப்போம் அப்படின்னா அது நல்லா போற மாதிரி தெரியல. So what I have to do is I have to change myself and take this whatever the opportunity is given to me to meet you people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very nice. Thank you for accepting our invitation. We have a positive feedback in the chat box stating excellent session, nice sessions, and eye opener for national education policy. So we are happy to share that with you, and we hope so for the further endeavors and further webinars with you, sir. Thank you.
Sure, madam. Thank you very much.
Participants, you can fill the feedback form.
Thank you, sir.
Madam, shall I leave or what?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Participants, you can fill the feedback form and leave the session.